that it better be the one. That it better be just the one. We have talked about it on this show. We bring it up a lot. Throughout a football season, you're going to win a game you're not supposed to. You're going to lose a game that you were not supposed to. That better be your one. You got a long way to go, and that you have cashed that token on in. That better be the one loss that you were not supposed to have. I know across the league, there are a lot of teams that felt like they lost to an inferior opponent this past weekend. I don't think any was as bad as yesterday for the Cleveland Browns. That better be the one. You cash that token in. There's your one loss that you weren't supposed to have, and we'll move on with the rest of the season. Today's going to feel like a freaking autopsy, man. It's going to be picking apart all of the bad things that happen, because we'll get to the good, the bad, and the ugly. Ryan, you know what we can just skip on over in the good, the bad, and the ugly? The good, because there wasn't much from that game yesterday. I know people are angry. Ryan is in a dark place. You are so angry right now, and I can't tell you not to be. You were saying the Browns are ruining my life. You are now a true Browns fan. Welcome to it. Part of being a Browns fan is at some point in your life, you go, the Browns are ruining me right now. What happens? You get cocky, you get smacked in the face. That's how it happens out in the playground in the 5th grade. It's what happens on Sundays in the NFL. You get a little cocky, you get smacked in the face. And with what the Giants did to the Browns yesterday, the alarming things that were said after the game about what the Giants did to the Browns, the lack of adjustments, the injuries, what else were you going to do? When you go into that game, which now looking back on it, seems very much like the Browns thought they were just going to walk through the Giants. I blame myself because I said that all week. All week. I was like, we're just going to walk through the Giants. I just thought the Browns would have a game plan. I thought the Browns would have a game plan for that game on Sunday. And when they started to do it, the Giants, oh, gee, what a novel idea, changed their game plan and kicked your ass. Is that against the rules, Ryan? Are you not allowed to change what you've done the prior 2 games? I didn't think they were allowed to do that. Throw the flag. Can't do that, man. Gee, they changed what they were trying to do, and they beat you at home, where we are now 0-2 after we owned that stadium last year. You're now 0-2. You couldn't block anybody. Yeah, Watson played okay at times. You know how bad that game was, Ryan? I have Deshaun Watson defenders in my Twitter inbox. That game was so bad and so crazy. I actually have people defending Deshaun Watson in my replies about how bad that game was yesterday because the guy was running for his life. What'd you want him to do? We'll talk about the fumbled snap or the fumbled handoff. We'll talk about the mistakes on the defense. We'll talk about the offensive line. I'm angry like everybody, but I'm just, you want to know how I'm going to rationalize this? I literally am just going to believe there is your token of the one loss you weren't supposed to have. There it is. Now you got to play damn near perfect football on the way out. You are a favorite to go to Vegas. People are, I don't know how the Browns are favorited, but they are. To go out to Vegas, we have a lot to get to, a lot to unpack, and you want to know what? You got an AL Central champion. Let's talk guards all day. Do that for 2 hours so we don't keep it on the rails here. We keep it on the rails. We got a lot to get to. A fresh week. I'm feeling good for the grid. We'll get to the bracket, time up, good, the bad, and the ugly around the league. We got it all for you. It's far from a Victory Monday right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Let's get to it. YouTube comments, we'll take them on Twitter, at Matt Fontana Show. We're up on YouTube, at Matt Fontana Show, Twitch, Instagram, and our brand new Big Play app where you can see our brand new Tailgate Show. They are 1-1 with that Tailgate Show with Zarella, Booms, and Golick. But that game yesterday, man, wow. I don't say this to just be sensationalized or, you know, we're all angry. We're trying to figure this all out. That was the worst Kevin Stefanski prepared game I've ever seen in my life. Of the 4 years that he has been here, I've never seen one like that. I have never seen a game that his team looked that ill prepared. As far as, and I know you had 3 linemen go out of a game. I don't know how you recover from that. You know, Bitonio talking about it after when they told him he's got to go to left tackle, look like deer in headlights. His eyes were as big as saucer plates. I got to go left tackle. And you see what the Giants did. They came in with a direct plan, and the Browns had no adjustments. I am saying this as a Kevin Stefanski fan. That was the worst game I have ever seen him coach for the Browns. And I'm trying to piece through all the other games and piece through this and that. When you talk about the opponent that you were facing, when you're talking about how you had 0 adjustments and nobody was able to protect Deshaun Watson, it's hard for me not to sit here and say that was the worst game I've ever seen Kevin Stefanski coach. And I'm not, in the game as well. Ryan, I'm on Twitter. I'm an idiot sitting there watching the game on my TV and I go, why are we not running screen passes? Why are we not running draws? These guys are blitzing you out the ass, and you are doing nothing to stop it. Jordan Renan, Giants reporter. The Giants blitzed 57% of the Browns dropbacks yesterday. That was higher than the 25% that they had done the first 2 games. How much did it work? Deshaun Watson finished 8 of 18 passing for 92 yards, a touchdown, and 7 sacks. The 7 sacks is the tied for second most since ESPN started tracking pass rushers in 2006. So they changed their game plan and blitzed near double the amount of the time. And we didn't think to run a screen, run a draw, do something to negate that. Now, you had Hudson in there because Jones got hurt. You had to take Teller out of the game, and I thought Zach Zinter actually did all right. You had to slide out Joel Bitonio because Wills went back down again. What are you going to do? Win the game. It's the Giants. Malik Neighbors looked like Randy Moss. Devin Singletary looked like Marshall Faulk, and you got beat by freaking Danny Dimes. Man, I really thought we were going to be better than that. I really did. And I think the sobering part of it, I can't even talk about Deshaun Watson today.
No, we can.
I mean, we can't. Okay, and I sent that. I said he was not good, but he was not helped out in any stretch of the imagination. I actually got Watson defenders. Well, man, it wasn't all his fault. You're right, it wasn't. Now, they were wide open throws. There was over the middle to Cooper that he missed. Said Tillman just, I guess we know why he's not playing now. Right off his hands. Not an easy catch, but you need that. And then the other ones, when he was rolling left and he had a guy in a comeback and he was throwing it 3 yards into the dirt. Wasn't even getting close to his receiver. Watson was not good. You factor in everything else. That was by far the worst offensive performance that I've seen under Kevin Stefanski. And that's, again, we got smoked with what? 1 first down in the first half against Dallas. You got gift boxed that freaking touchdown to start. And you got nothing beyond that. You had 1 drive to get back down there. And they shut you down on something that we were all sitting there screaming, watching. They're going to blitz. They are blitzing. Now, what are you going to do when your linemen are out? What are you going to do when you're missing the number one thing to stop blitzes is your guys? Njoku not out there? I mean, I guess it just was the perfect storm of how you were going to lose to the Giants. It's also the mentality of this team. They got that gift box touchdown, and they set up back. They're all right, this game's over. I thought it, you thought it, everybody thought it. Apparently that sideline, it bled down there too. And the Giants didn't give up. MJ Emerson had nothing for Malik Neighbors yesterday. Nothing. And then I said, well, gee, here's another adjustment. Put Denzel Ward on him. And then on the 1 touchdown, what do? They have Ward on him. They run zone. He passes him off, and Rodney McLeod standing there like this. Neighbors runs right past him. Touchdown. It was just like, where were the adjustments? You had a game plan. What's Mike Tyson's favorite line, Ryan? Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. When were the Browns going to wake up? And the problem is, when something like that happens, you just sit there and say, we're going to lean back on what we do. We're going to go to what we do. What the hell do we do? You don't have Nick Chubb back there anymore. And it's going to run the football. Oh, we'll put it in the arms of Deshaun Watson. Okay, well, that's not going to work. He's running everywhere. I didn't know if I wanted to say this today. But I had a really bad thought and a really bad conspiracy theory, if you will. Did Stefanski leave Watson out to dry yesterday?
I hope. At this point.
Was it literally... I hope not. Because I'm trying to find reasons to make that game make sense. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm trying to find ways to make all of that make sense. And one of the things I thought was Stefanski leaving Watson out to dry to say, well, he better just do this. He kept making him drop back. He kept making him do 5 and 7 step drops when they're just getting in his ass and making things tough. He was sacked 7 times. Literally did not get to that point where you were sitting there saying, are you going to do something to help that guy? No. Somebody going to help that poor man? No. Nothing. They left him. I really thought for a second that Stefanski was like, well, we're just going to leave this on Watson here. Don't get me started about Bill Callahan. Don't get me started about Andy Dickerson. It's over, right? Like, is that it? Is that these guys are not that well prepared? And we've talked about that with Callahan. You talk about the X's and O's coaching of the game. Yes, there's that element. Bill Callahan was also heavily involved in scouting and coming up with your game plan. And you walked into a game where you thought they were going to do this. Shocking. I don't think it's against rules in football. They did something completely opposite. And you're standing there with your thumb up your butt. You have no idea what to do. And it was simple stuff. They were blitzing more than you had. And they were getting home with 5 guys too. And you sit there saying, well, 5 guys on 5, you should be just fine. They were getting home. There was no change. When you sit there on the sidelines and they scroll through the tablet, don't you think you come up with, hey, man, they're going to keep blitzing. Maybe we should do something else here. Maybe we should change our protection a little bit. Maybe we're going to start running these plays. Well, you know, we didn't really practice these plays all this week. I don't care. Run it. Do something. I got a lot of questions.
I don't have answers.
Who do you put the most blame on?
I am just right now in a really bad place.
That was my other. How beaten down are you right now?
I'm severely beaten down.
Like, I'm trying, and again, I try to find positives in this, and I'm going to try to. There ain't much. This is one of those games.
Not today.
Like Belichick, you dig a hole out there in Berea, and you bury that film. You take a tablet. I think they got the cash for it. You gather the entire team around. You dig a hole. You take a tablet and you throw it in that hole, cover it up, and say, we'll talk to you on Wednesday. That's it. Because there's nothing. Now, you can't do that. The coaches have got to figure this stuff out and then move on from there. That game was nothing to be taken away. Nothing from the positive. Now, I'm going to ask them to learn from the negative and get better because you are now, again, facing an inferior team. And I blame myself because I thought the Browns were finally to a level that I could look at inferior opponents and say, we're going to win this football game. I'm going to take that with me forever. I'm going to drill that right here into my brain. And I'm going to remind myself that even when you go into a game that you have no business losing and they suck and they don't got anything going on, still believe that they can lose. Still believe it.
The Browns right now are, make no bones about it, a bottom 5 team in the NFL. You have a quarterback who is more lost than ever. You have the worst offensive line in the league. You have receivers who can't catch the ball, and you have an egregiously overrated defense. Nothing about the Browns you can take a positive out of what you saw. You got 7 points basically spotted to you. You lost at home to the New York Giants and Daniel Jones.
When you were favored by a touchdown.
And you wonder why nobody in the media takes the Browns seriously nationally, and now you know why they shouldn't, and they're right.
You know, the other thing is, when you talk about what that offense was supposed to look like, right? And that watching the O-line as we have, again, what did we make the excuse for Dallas? That's Micah Parsons. And I like Brian Burns, and obviously Kayvon Thibodeau and Ojulari and all everybody else. Dude, they look like Lawrence Taylor. They look like Lawrence Taylor out there making plays. So with what you thought was going to be your thing, you don't have anymore. And the building of Watson and trying to get him back has just obviously taken a huge hit and taken a huge side trek now on that game because there's nothing for him to sit there. He's running around. Okay, really nice throw to Amari Cooper, right? Okay, finally you threw back to Amari Cooper. Great job. Awesome. Where was anybody else? Where was Jerry Jeudy? Where was Elijah Moore? Was he on the field? Oh, that's right. He was, because there was a throw to him that Watson just missed him completely. That's right. I do remember him on the field as well. And now you got to rally. You have got to turn this thing around now. This was supposed to be the easy stretch. Remember when we beat Jacksonville? Like, all right, now we're entered a 3-game stretch. Ryan, we're all sitting here checking off wins. Oh, okay, right. We're good. Giants, Raiders, Commanders, check them on off. All right, bing, bang, boom. Now you buried yourself. Now you put yourself in this situation that, boy. You know the phrase of the day is going to be, Ryan? Magnetic resonance imaging. Play the clip. I put this together for Kevin Stefanski. Magnetic resonance imaging is your phrase of the day.
Oh, you want to play right now?
Yeah, play it right now.
All right, here we go.
Play it right now.
That's got a knee injury. We'll get an MRI on that tomorrow morning. James Hudson, shoulder injury. We'll MRI that as well. I don't have an update yet on him. He'll get an MRI. I think he was physically struggling. Yeah. He had a knee injury going in the game, and foot injury. We'll MRI it. Yeah, Jack Conklin was unavailable due to injury, so that's kind of who we have.
MRI.
I'm not sure. I don't have an update.
MRI, everybody. Dude. Miles, Teller, Wills. Conklin was already out. Am I missing anybody else? Everybody. He's got to line up for an MRI now. The Wills one, I didn't see the Teller. I don't remember if I saw a replay on the Teller one. The Wills one, I was like, oh, God.
I am so done with Jed Wills.
What are you going to do?
I don't care at this point. Put out anybody else.
Then on top of that,
I'm so sick of him and his attitude.
They go to Jack Conklin. They ask him, what's the update on Jack Conklin? They go, well, we hope this isn't a weeks thing. It's a hamstring. You know what hamstrings usually are in the NFL? Weeks things. This isn't, we'll get him some therapy. He'll be fine in a couple of days. Miles, with this foot thing, did you read he had surgery on his feet when he was a kid?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's maybe related. It's both feet now? What are we, oh my God. What are we going to do? I'm trying, listen, I would tell you, I always try to search for the positive, man. I consider myself a pretty positive person, okay? And I'm maybe not as down as, I feel pretty crappy. I feel pretty bad. But it's like, I'm grabbing on to this, that was that game, man. That was that game, okay? And you're right, Ryan. It's not like you go to the NFL and go, hey, we're cashing this in. That was our one shit loss, okay? That was our one really bad loss, and we're not going to have any more the rest of the year. That's not how that works, okay? But I have no choice but to grab onto that. But then when I run through the injuries, when I run through what the hell are they going to do on the rest of that offensive line, and there were pertinent questions asked to Kevin Stefanski. You knew, if you really did know that this cropped up with Jack Conklin, why did you not elevate another offensive lineman? Oh, that's right, because they're playing this BS game that you have to have tight ends up on the roster because you're only carrying one. And I know they had to sign guys off the practice squad, and they got to bump this guy up, and they got to make sure James Prochet is in there. You can't find a roster spot for Jermaine Ifedi. You couldn't find me one, knowing that Conklin was not going to play. That is something else I don't think any people are really bringing up. Would that have helped? Would Jermaine Ifedi been a lot better out there? I have no idea. I really don't. And you had to play something that even Kevin Stefanski said, we never practiced that. But Tonio at tackle, Posick at guard, and then Nick Harris at center with Zach Zinter over at the right, and you had Jones flipping it out for Hudson because he was hurt. I've never seen anything like that. I seriously. Grab onto this statement for a second. All 5 of your linemen didn't play at the position that they started the game in. Let that sink in. All 5 of your offensive linemen, basically, and I know Jones came back in, they all didn't finish the game at the position that they started in. Dude.
I mean, we're sniffing a rebuild.
Do you have your answer on Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
I'm not ready to start a rebuild until I have my answer on Deshaun Watson. Let's talk about Watson.
I have my answer on the Cleveland Browns.
Well, the Browns are one thing of it, and that's where, like, when you want to talk about Watson in that game, what's the stat everybody's throwing around? Ryan, who's the only quarterback in the NFL with a worse QBR than Deshaun Watson right now? Bryce Young. That's it. QBR is kind of like any stat, right? It's a little bit, how do you read into it? And yesterday with Deshaun, I actually, again, saw some throws that I was like, okay, here's the incremental improvement. And I was one that came in so low on this season, and I wanted them to build him back up. I wanted you to treat Deshaun Watson as a true reclamation project. Almost treat him like a rookie, and you got to build him back up. He can't do that when he has no help. And I guess here comes me, as I got on Twitter all day yesterday from some people, defending Deshaun Watson. Almost, I go, what the do you want him to do? What did you want him to do? Now, again, to my conspiracy theory, talking about Kevin Stefanski of leaving him out to dry, they can sit there and say, oh, it's $230 million quarterbacks. He's back in the swing of things. Go out there and do what you got to do. Couldn't do it. Oh, there's only so much he can do. But when you talk about the evaluation of Deshaun Watson, that game is almost just a strike. I literally strike it from the record.
No.
There's nothing I can do from the evaluation of Kevin. Ryan, tell me why not. Seriously, tell me why. Deshaun Watson, who, I'll tell you this, I'm neither a fan nor a detractor. You know, people act out like I've got some axe to grind with Deshaun. I don't. He's the quarterback for my football team. I want him to be successful. And I wanted this season, maybe even more than the wins, to finally get the answer of if he is the guy.
He's ass.
I don't know that after. Okay, then he's done. We're going towards a rebuild. Thank God you got your draft pick. Go trade for Jimmy Garoppolo tomorrow then.
And
go give me somebody else. If you want to just chalk it up
when do we
throw it away, then we're done. And we're going to go 5-12. Miles will be gone. Batonio's going to retire. And we're going to go back to being one of the shit teams in this league for the next 15 years.
Does that shock you? The last 2 years, when have the Browns looked like a football worth a damn when Deshaun Watson's been under center?
When Joe Flacco was in there. I get it. I understand that. I can't get there yet. I cannot look at that game yesterday.
How many more balls do you want him to dirt and sky over?
What did you want him to do?
Yes, well, don't get me wrong. The offensive line was horrible. They were horrid.
The worst offensive line game I've ever seen played.
Listen, put Patrick Mahomes behind center. The Browns might not win that game. I'm giving you that. I'm giving you that. But that's beside the point. When you can't hit an open receiver worth your life, Matt, how many times are we going to give him this grace? I can't do it anymore. And listen, it's not all Deshaun Watson, but it has to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere, and I'm putting it on a guy who's making $230 million and can't throw a football and is a head case.
There were open throws.
And when do we start?
100%.
And when do we start throwing some damn blame on Andrew Berry? If you could draft a receiver worth a damn, maybe that would help your quarterback out.
You're not even getting the balls to the receiver. You know, the thing is, we have to have the realization that the one thing that the Browns were elite in for the last couple of years is over. That offensive line is not the same. And if you want to tell me that it's just because of Bill Callahan, then we got bigger problems, okay?
Yeah, I don't
Listen, People don't want to hear this excuse, but it's real. When you get that many guys hurt, what else are they supposed to do? I watched intently, specifically on Joel Bitonio. And this, how crazy is 6 feet? You want to tell me, you know what I'm talking about here? How crazy is it that Joel Bitonio, 6 feet over here, is an all-pro, borderline Hall of Famer?
Yeah, but it makes sense.
You move him 6 feet over here.
It makes sense.
He's not exactly my point.
He's not.
What else were you supposed to do?
I get that, but here's the problem. I understand the injuries, but you set yourself up for this. I'm sorry, Jed Wills is not worth a damn. I'm glad he finally clocked in, worked for an hour, and now he's done for who knows how long.
Get it.
Joe Bitonio, yeah, I'm sorry, but what? He's 35, 36?
About done.
I'd be shocked if this wasn't his last year. And DeJuan Jones,
will be.
Why did we crown him all of a sudden? He looks horrible.
Talk about 2 games yesterday for guys that we crowned. Let's have a little sit down with MJ Emerson, man. Because also, John Costco, great at PFF, he came in and he goes, you shouldn't be surprised. MJ Emerson had 2 horrible games to start this season. And talk about thank God for Greg Newsome. Thank God they kept him around.
What the hell is he good for? What do you
mean? He had a couple pass breakups
yesterday.
He had a couple pass breakups. I'm just saying on the relative.
He can't tackle.
MJ was bad. He had nothing for Malik Neighbors. Now again,
and what did Greg bring?
It's just a level above that. I'm talking about being just out be completely terrible.
I would make an argument Greg Newsome was worse than MJ.
Oh, I'm not saying he was not worse. MJ was your worst defender yesterday. Your worst defender yesterday. No question on that. Now the other thing is that's not some scrub. You know, Dane Brugler came out and he said, I had Malik Neighbors as my number 1 guy the past 2 drafts. There you go. But that all the things that you thought you were going to have to be able to build. You talk about the rebuild. We are now at a crossroads of what is this team going to become. We have lost our way. The Cleveland Browns, the 2024 Cleveland Browns have lost their way because I don't know what they're good at. Their defense at times, but now the cornerstone of your defense has 2 foot injuries. I would not shock me if Myles Garrett's got to miss time. Okay? And the other thing too, I sent this out. He's missing practice. Dude, he looked winded on Sunday. He looked like he was tired because he's not out there. You can't run. How are you going to get your conditioning up? Okay? So the defense of what you put your hat on, of all the issues yesterday, it's somewhere on the list. I wouldn't say the worst, but they just couldn't stop freaking Malik Neighbors. That's out the window. Your offensive line used to be one of the best in football. It's gone.
It's the worst in football.
It's gone.
It's gone. It's the worst offensive line in football.
This incarnation, sure. You got 4 backups in there, man. You got 4. And the thing is, even if the Browns somehow avoid the big injuries with these guys, because again, they got to line out the door to line up for an MRI today. Group discount. Can they get a bundle on Groupon for some MRIs today? They're going to go get all these MRIs today. And yes, they might step away and say, okay, we avoided the tears. We avoided the really bad stuff. It doesn't mean that that's not going to hurt for weeks. It doesn't mean that this is not a lingering injury. You know what you need right now is a freaking bye. You need a bye at this point to get some of these guys back healthy. Then, when you do talk about the eventual return of Nick Chubb, what's he going to do to fix any of this? I don't see anything right now to pull this out of the fire. Now, you can go Sunday, and you can go beat up on a Raiders team that's not very good, and boy, is their headspace bad after what Antonio Pierce had to say yesterday. We'll get to that in Around the League. You got to go on the road and beat another inferior team.
But that's the thing, Matt.
They're worse.
They inferior?
They have to be. They have to
How?
be. They have to be.
How?
They have to be.
How could you say? I don't even know at this point. They beat the Ravens, and God knows if the Browns play the Ravens, they're going to get their asses handed to them. They're going to be pissed off losing probably the worst game of the season.
Oh, that's a good point. Remember when the schedule came out?
Max
We were
Crosby's
like, man,
licking his chops.
Thank God we do not have a division game anytime soon. Thank God. Yeah, and the other thing, I see the other teams. You know, I see the freaking Vikings with Sam Darnold at 3-0. Justin Fields is 3-0. And again, you want to look at opponents and all that, whatever, fine.
Oh, geez. It's
Where's the overcoming of, like, where is the perseverance of this team? They are so lost right now. And the problem is, what you're going to hate me for this, but this is the truth.
It all starts with who's under center.
There's only one person to fix this, and it's Deshaun Watson.
And he could.
There is only one person to fix this, and that's Deshaun Watson. And here I have been holding this off and trying to say, hey, man, go slow with this. Stuff's changed, man. And I'm going to look at Sunday, even with a backup offensive line in there, yes, with Max Crosby on the other side of it, I'm going to sit there and I'm finally ready to say, we are going to live or die with Deshaun Watson. We are going to sink or swim with Deshaun Watson. But I will get my answer. Ryan's done.
We have it.
You're done. I get it. I'm not saying you're not wrong. I get why you say you're done. I'm not there yet, but we're now going to enter the frame and enter the time. I'm going to find out about Deshaun Watson.
You just got diced up by Daniel Jones. You were spotted 7 points against Brian Dable at home, and you couldn't put up what? Any type of effort. The Browns are cooked. They're horrible right now. And I don't know if a loss after like that, with now even more injuries to where you couldn't afford it, Deshaun Watson, who looks abysmal and has probably zero confidence, and right now is the worst quarterback in the league, hands down, how can you even say it's salvageable?
It is.
It's
no, Ryan, it is. I understand why you're angry. Here, I think we all maybe need this a little bit this morning, okay? I'm going to talk you down from this, okay? Number one, good or bad, there's a lot of football left. Good or bad, there's a lot of football left, okay? Number two, Watson has gotten game action, and he is not injured. Of all the injuries that are a problem right now, it's not Deshaun Watson, okay? At least there's that. Number three, you got exposed. I'm going to look back on the coaching staff, who I still believe are good at their jobs, to find a way to fix those holes, to fix the leaking ship that's out right there over in Lake Erie. We're taking on water. They've got to find a way to fix that. So now I'm going to lean on what should again be a strength is my coaching staff, and to say, fix these problems. Next up, this is crazy, but you got to follow me. You still have opportunities to improve this team. If you get the word that it is going to be weeks on Teller and weeks on Jed Wills and weeks still on Conklin, you are forced to go make a move. And I'm not trying to give away draft picks in what might eventually be a lame duck season, but you freed up all this cap space for what? Go do something. And it's not like you're trading for Trent Williams, okay? You're not going out there to pick up some elite guy. But there is still opportunities. If this is really as bad as we all fear it might be with these injuries, you still would then fall back on Andrew Berry and say, go do something.
Yeah, whoa, I have all the faith in the world in Andrew Berry right now.
You got no choice, Ryan.
I do have a choice.
No, you don't.
I
You're
do
in
have
this
a choice.
just like us. You're in this just like us. We got no choice. You got no choice.
Well, then, okay. Then, if we're not going to do this now and we'll wait, okay, that's fine. Then who are you putting this blame on? Like, what are we changing? Because it's. I'd like to think it's all.
Put that. I was going to put that as our Twitter question.
I've had proof that it's just who's under center. When are we going to cut off our leg that is killing the rest of our body, amputate it, and save our lives? When is that going to happen?
But on that, and you can post it on our Twitter question. I want to know, who do you place the most blame on from yesterday? There's a lot. Put that up. Watson, O-line, coaches, go ahead. That's right. And I'm sure O-line will dominate that. I'm not saying that they won't, but I'm interested to see. Matt Fontana's show drops a follow on Twitter next. You talk about going to the extreme of the amputation, and you're talking about what? Getting rid of Deshaun Watson. You don't have to yet. You don't have to, because you want to know why? Jameis Winston ain't going to be any better. I love Jameis.
But you said, we said that with Flacco.
Unless you fix, but Ryan, that was a different offensive line. I'll tell you what, you don't want to believe this.
I'd rather have Jameis go throw 6 picks in a game.
Your problem
I'd rather have
is
Jameis
not
Winston
even
go.
Deshaun Watson
I'd rather
anymore.
have Jameis Winston throw 6 picks in a game and we lose 45-3.
He ain't even going to have the chance to throw interceptions. Ryan's going to have his ass in the dirt. He's going to be put down by all these guys. You don't want to believe this, but I'm telling you, it's your truth. It's not even Watson's fault anymore. Sunday was not even Deshaun Watson's problem. Yes, he's $230 million. Yes, I liked him overcome that. Bro, I am just telling you, there was nothing.
So whose fault is it when he has 5 seconds to throw?
The O-line.
And when he has 5 seconds to throw and he dirts the ball or he skies it over Elijah Moore's head? That's on the offensive line?
I agree with you. There were throws that were trash. I'm not saying that there wasn't. And he's on the list. I'm not voiding him of all of the blame. He's a quarterback. He will always catch some of it, deservingly so. What I'm saying is you can't even focus on fixing that. Your number one focus, when they were watching the tape last night, when they're in Berea today, your number one focus has got to be, what are we going to do to fix this offensive line? And you got multiple ways to approach that. First off, you got to figure out injuries. You got to figure this out. I'm sure that those guys were in bright and early, lined up over there at university hospitals where I've gotten an MRI there before too. Great facility. Go there, get your MRIs. I'm sure they've got results. I'm sure that they have Dr. Voos, who's a team physician. I'm sure he's already. Yes. Okay. Jed Wills. Okay. Myles Garrett. Wyatt Teller. Okay. He's got all the MRIs. He's going to call the Browns and go, this is what we got. That's step one. You first have to find out who's actually going to be playing for you. Then I'm looking at game plan. I am going to look at this and say, what are you going to do to make this work with a patchwork, call it for what it is, piece of crap offensive line? You have 2 guys right now that you have trust in. Ethan Posick and Joel Bitonio. That's it. Wills, Conklin, Jones, hurt. Teller, hurt. What are we going to do? You slide Zach Zinter in at right guard? Thought he looked all right a couple of times. Fine. What are you going to do? And this tackle situation has gotten even worse than we thought it was going to be. And we could sit there and say, yep, what a mistake that it was picking up Jed Wills' 5th-year option. What a mistake it was to not elevate another tackle for that game. All of that, learn from it. You have got to fix the offensive line. There's nothing that is going to happen for this team unless they somehow fix that. Again, talking about positivity. The receivers are still the receivers. Okay, Jerry Jeudy, go back to the Jacksonville game. Okay, even take Amari Cooper out of yesterday, right? There's some positivity there. You can get David Njoku back. Not so worried about that. You have no choice. And the sole focus has got to be fixing the offensive line. Now, you got to do that without Bill Callahan here. And if that's something that at the end of the day, when we piece this all up, if that is truly how much he meant to this team, then it was a house of cards that was waiting to fall down anyway. If your whole offensive scheme is predicated on a coach, that's not sustainable. That's not sustainable. And I don't believe that either. I don't know much about Andy Dickerson, okay? I don't. I have no idea, all right? And I know that at this point, it seems like Bill Callahan meant everything to them. You got to pull us out of the fire. You got no choice. You have no choice but to figure out someone. And I don't have the answers to that because I'm not that coach. Ryan doesn't have the answers to that because we're not in Berea getting paid a lot of money. Figure it the F out. Find a way to work through this and give Deshaun Watson some time. At least then I can get back to evaluating him. Now, the offensive line can give him time on Sunday, and he can still throw 4 interceptions, and then we'd really be in a pickle. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, all right? You got no choice. Your only course of action right now is to fix that offensive line. How? I don't know.
I said this before they played the Giants. I said if you lose to the Giants at home, and not only did they lose, they looked awful. You got embarrassed by the Giants at home. Yeah. I said I think the season is cooked. Okay. And I'm not going back on that. I'm not going back on that. Now, and you want to live in the moment. I get it. You want to live in the moment. It's week 3. But when do we start? And maybe you'll have an answer for this. Maybe a concrete answer.
I try to give
week 11. When do we go back and boil this down to the core? And for me, that's the draft. You gave up all your first-round capital to get this dude who can't throw the damn ball.
Bro,
you draft a guy with their first pick in last year's draft who can't even be on the field.
Yeah.
Why didn't you draft a guard? Why didn't you draft a tackle? It's mind-blowing, but I'm glad he can draft a cornerback who now we don't even know if is good in Martin Emerson.
Right. And I get that you're angry.
Oh,
I tell you, man, it's
he's
gonna
a wizard. Laser eyes, Barry.
It's gonna do nothing. It's gonna do nothing but drive you up a wall, man. It's gonna do nothing but drive you up a wall. And I get it. Here's the. We all want our pound of flesh today. We all want it to be something. Here's the thing. You want it to be a singular problem because you want to know what singular problems are easier to fix. It's not just one thing, man. It's not. Now the other thing. For this incarnation, because this is hard for us as fans to truly understand that every single year is on its own. I can't go back to what this defense was last year. I can't go back to what that play was last year. This, at this specific moment, is this version of this team. And you look at it and you say, our defense is not playing well. Our offense is not playing well. Our line sucks. You got all that, and you got to ball that up and understand. I can't go back. Well, you had the number 1 defense last year. That's gone. That's over. And we are 3 games into this season. You have got a sample size enough to understand the Browns are not a good football team right now. They are not. What are you going to do to fix that? Because I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not packing it in after 3 weeks. I refuse to pack it in after 3 freaking weeks. I'm not going to do it.
At least pack your socks.
Stop it. I'm not doing that.
Socks, underwear.
No. When you put your suitcase out on the floor and you at least start throwing stuff in, the suitcase is still in the attic. I refuse to go up there and get it. I'm not packing it in. I'm not doing it. So they have a couple of weeks here to get this figured out. I can't do it. I refuse to do it. I can't. No way. No way. And they can prove me wrong on Sunday, and they can go and lose to Jaden Daniels, and I'll be singing a different tune. I ain't there yet. I got I can't do it. I cannot do it. I know it looks bad right now. You're upset. I'm upset. You have every reason in the world to be. I get it, but I ain't packing it in yet. I can't. I just won't. And Sunday, that's not going to be an equalizer. Sunday is not going to be a game where you get done, you're going to feel all that much better. You want to know what? I'm going to go in this game again. Expect him to win 35-10.
Yeah, right.
And you're right. All that. And I know there's a lot of people going out to Vegas for that game. And I feel bad. My buddy Pat's going. And I'm like, well, at least you be in Vegas, man. Can't have a bet. Well, I guess you could have a really bad time in Vegas, too. But I was like, at least you're going. I can't pack it in yet. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to look at this team, being the eternal optimist that I am, and just say, fix it.
Nope.
Fix it.
Can't.
How? Don't know. That's not my job. That's their job. It's the offensive line. It all comes back to the offensive line. And then you're going to ask Sean Watson, who's not looked all that good, to play a role, and Jerome Ford. Did they ever once think of double covering Malik Neighbors?
It's just at some point.
There was no adjustments in that game.
At some point, there has to be a discussion. Why are the Steelers so good with such bad quarterback play? Not that Justin Fields has been bad this year at all. I'm not saying that. But what happens? The Browns, they get high expectations from us. They get our hopes up, and they continually let us down. The Steelers, is it a culture thing? It has to be.
No, it has to be. No, okay, so here's the other thing that you got to talk about, specifically on that example, talking about the Steelers, right? Yes, it is a culture, but it's also, this is the brand of football we're going to play. The one thing that I don't think we have with the Cleveland Browns is the brand of football they want to play. Do they want to make these defensive struggle, time of possession type of games? Well, our defense is getting chewed up. Do they want to make this Deshaun Watson world beater, shoulder, weight of the world on his shoulders, and he's going to go out there and lead us? They can't do that. They can't run the football. The Browns have lost their identity. That's the problem. When you look at these teams, even the Vikings, and again, you got to take into account some of the teams they beat. They beat the 49ers.
Yeah,
yes, without Kittle and Debo.
And you know who wasn't the quarterback?
What?
Deshaun Watson.
Well, but again, they have a brand of football that they're able to play. The Browns, the two brands of football that you would say they play, defense and the offensive line, were the two worst things yesterday. You have an identity crisis. You have an identity crisis as the Cleveland Browns. So you at this point have got to figure out, what are we? This is a soul-searching week for the Cleveland Browns. Who are we? Cue up the hue. Who are we? Who are you? Who are we?
Who are we?
Who are we? Who are they?
A bad football team.
If that's it, then yeah.
I'm telling you,
I'm not there yet, man.
I'm just saying everything boils down. Every single thing we're talking about boils down to not having a quarterback.
But it's coming.
You've said it a million times yourself. The defense was not the defense. Listen, I'm not expecting the defense to be what they were last year. I don't think you should. At this point, they've proven they can't be. But what do you expect the defense to do when they're not moving? The offense can't move the football. They're moving backwards, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's where it comes back to what are we going to do? What is the brand of football we're going to play? You have, for better or worse, a lot of time to figure that out.
The brand of football is you have the worst quarterback in the league and you can't do anything with it. That's the brand of football that the Browns are playing.
But again, yesterday, while there were mistakes from Deshaun Watson, it was not all his fault.
But Matt,
I'm not trying to make that out to like a defensive thing.
It doesn't have to be a $230 million quarterback. I know you hate that we talk about that.
Stop bringing that up.
I know,
just for the love of God, stop bringing it up. There's nothing we can do about that. It's over. You paid him the money. Just set that aside.
But you're talking about him being a game manager, Matt. He's not even that.
He's not. That's the thing. He's not a $230 million quarterback right now.
He's not even a game manager, Matt. You can blame the offensive line all you want, and I do. They were horrible. But what do you have to see more than him dirting balls, him chucking balls over their heads? What more do you have to see? You do have a choice.
No, you don't.
You do.
What are you going to do?
Jameis Winston, I'm not talking about he's going to be a world beater, Matt.
He can't even run as much as Watson does. He's not going to be,
I'm glad Deshaun Watson can pick up a fourth down avoiding a clean pocket. Good for him.
There is no clean pocket.
Dude,
There's no clean pocket. Jameis Winston, who I love and friend of our show here on Big Play, which I get. Bro, he would take even more sacks. At least Watson got out of there a little bit.
Let me try to level with you for 1 second.
Please do.
Would you agree that the brunt of the Browns' problems right now are Deshaun Watson?
I love you, Ryan. I just
are yes or no? Are the brunt of the Browns' problems hinging on Deshaun Watson?
No, not right now. Not right now. I'm not right now. We got bigger fish to fry.
How do you have bigger fish to fry when
your
your $230 million quarterback is the worst quarterback to play for the Browns since '99? Do you realize that?
Ryan,
he might be the worst Browns quarterback since '99, Matt.
Ryan, you could put Patrick Mahomes behind that line yesterday. They lost that game.
I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not saying that's not true.
That's why you got to look at it.
But I am looking at it. That's the problem. The problem is I'm not blind. That's the issue.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And you know football, and you watch the game like us, we're angry. I get it. I don't want to say the furthest thing from a Deshaun Watson defender, because trust me, there's people out there that I know that really freaking hate him. I am one. I don't necessarily like the person, but he's a quarterback for my football team. I am going to be about as middle of the road on this as I can be, and that's how I've been, about unbiased as I can be. My interest is solely, can he help my football team win games? That's it. So when I take out all that other stuff, the contract and all that other crap, and I'm just looking at it, I tell you, Brian, it wasn't even all him yesterday. Yes, there were missed throws. He didn't look good. He was rattled. And this is another part, again, of my evaluation of me stacking all these things about Deshaun Watson this season. I will find out Sunday. Because Sunday, talking about yesterday, right? Yesterday was so bad that could be something that rocks Watson to his core. right? And he gets the yips, and he starts evading clean pockets, and he gets the Baker Mayfield. And I don't want to bring that back up, but we all remember when Baker was there too. There's another source of evaluation in this whole thing. Was Sunday, did that break Deshaun Watson?
But we're talking about that.
Problem.
We're talking about that as if he's not already broken.
That's he might be. But we will find out Sunday. And we will find out as I'm stacking all these things about Watson when I came into this season just flat even on figuring out what he was. For better or for worse, for yesterday, I will find out if that broke Deshaun Watson. I will find that out.
Dude, what do you mean? What size jacket do you wear?
Jacket?
Yes.
Like a suit?
Like a jacket. I'm going to order you a straight I'm going to order you a straight jacket.
Oh, that's fine. I'm a 42 long.
All right.
42 long for a suit jacket, if you will.
If you think this is salvageable with Deshaun Watson,
I do. I'm serious. I'm not saying
I don't know what to say.
It is salvageable.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
What
100%.
What 100%. Has given you
100%?
What has given you solace that there is potential salvaging?
We need to start with an equal footing that maybe you were not here with. And again, I know that I'm a little out there on how I was approaching Deshaun Watson. I was approaching at the basement. Okay, I was approaching in the basement where I started that I just needed to see this progression. I knew it was not going to be a quick fix. This was not going to be something that even if he went out there and lit up the Cowboys or lit up the Jags, then again, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. I knew that this was going to be a 7, 8, maybe even 10 game progression and evaluation of Deshaun Watson. Well, we're only 3 in. You've had some good, you've had some bad. Probably more bad than good. Not even probably, you've had more bad than good. But at this point, my evaluation has not stopped. Some people want to pull the brake right now, and you want to smash glass in case of emergency and pull the brake and stop the evaluation. I'm not there yet, and the Browns can't be there yet either. I get you want to wash your hands of this and walk on away. You can't. You can't. You cannot walk away from this. You have no choice but to keep Deshaun Watson in there. But again, he's going to play behind that offensive line. It's going to be a lot harder.
Oh, jeez.
You want to rip through YouTube comments? Well, I'd love to get Fannin, right? I know I got some tweets. We got a lot of YouTube comments over there. Rip through a couple here.
Oh, man.
Mike says there's only one guy that can save this team, and it's Nick Chubb, and I don't even know if I can believe that.
Angelo says, Matt, you have to define salvage.
Playoffs. Salvageable would be playoffs. It is still salvageable. I know you don't feel that way right now, but it's salvageable, sure.
Are the Browns right now a bottom 3 team in the NFL?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Give me 3 teams worse. Give me 3 teams worse than the Cleveland Browns.
I still think the Panthers are worse.
Through 3 weeks of football.
I know what Andy Dalton did. I get
Through
it.
3 weeks of football, give me 3 teams worse than the Cleveland Browns.
Again, I would say the Commanders.
Who just beat the Giants?
Okay. Yes. Without their kicker. Okay. The Patriots are worse than us.
Without their kick.
The Patriots are worse than us. They are.
Are they?
Yes, they are.
Are they?
The Titans are worse than us, Ryan. Let's not skew that. The Titans are worse.
Titans, I'll give you.
The Titans are worse.
Maybe,
okay, they are worse.
Maybe the Patriots.
I think the Denver Broncos are worse. A luck box, they got a little come up there on Baker and the Bucks. Okay, I still think the Broncos are worse. Little come up on them.
Oh.
Baker that was a Bucks loss. That wasn't so much for the Broncos getting a win. I still think the Panthers are. I still do. I can't say that about the Bears. Yeah, you're right. It's not many. Trust me. I understand the picture you're trying to paint here. I got a couple, though. I do have a couple. All right?
But you look at all these teams that we're talking about, right? None of them are in the top 5 of paying their players the most in the money. None of these guys. What?
You gotta let it go, man. It's just it's gonna kill you.
It already
has
killed me.
Drive you mad.
It's already
done going
that.
To drive you insane.
It's already done that, but at some point you have to hold them accountable.
The line out of Dark Knight. He goes, I'm going to put you in a padded cell. He goes, maybe we can share one.
It's madness is like gravity. All it takes is a push.
There you go.
And
nice.
I've been pushed off the ledge.
Nice. Very nice. Maybe we'll share one. You're going to order a straight jacket from me. Maybe I'll get one for you too. You and I have a similar size. We'll get 2 for 1 on this. It's all right, man. It's all good. We'll go from there. Guards.
What about guard? Oh, those
for
guards.
them.
Those
Yeah.
guards.
No, not Wyatt Teller and Joe Battoni. Not those guards. The other guards. Hey, man, you're AL Central champions. You're getting ready to go for a bye. Let's go. We're in it, man.
I can't.
We're in it.
I can't.
Let's go.
I can't.
Let's go. You want to go to the good, the bad, and the ugly? Is there even a point? I think we've hit it all. Just hit it. I'll run through it quick.
I don't know what you're gonna have for good, but go for it.
I put nope.
I guess
put
Amari
nope.
Cooper. I guess Amari Cooper.
I guess Amari Cooper. I guess Amari Cooper was fine.
Oh,
Now-
how about that choreographed dance? That was nice. Unreal.
you know,
What the fuck is Greg Newsome doing?
dude, let it go. Like,
What do you mean, bro? He headbutted him. That's a 10-point swing right there. He headbutted Daniel Jones. You have to be
That
brain
was
dead.
stupid.
You have
That-
to be
you can't-
brain
you
dead.
cannot do that.
And I saw people on Twitter going, "That was a bad call."
It was a bad call, but that's also passing. That is roughing the passer. In today's NFL, dude, that Chris Jones, he pulled Kirk Cousins on top of him.
How is that a bad
and they
call?
called a penalty that.
How is that a bad call? That was clear as day.
No. Okay, here's what I'm saying. It's not a bad call, and that's what the NFL is going to call. What Greg Newsome has got to understand, you have got to throttle that back, man. You have got to pull that back. When you know you're unabated to the quarterback, those refs are staring right at you, and they are ready and waiting to throw the flag on you. So you're right. That was bad on Greg Newsome. What I thought you were talking about was the dancing and the having fun. That is... There are people that want to get angry about that, and it's just old school brand of football. They're going to do that. And that really doesn't bother. I don't care. Okay, they want to do the guitar thing. I have no, I don't care. Okay, I know there are a lot of people that want to throw their arms up and freak out. And
Denzel's allowed to do it.
I don't care. I don't care who does it. Oh, they dance after they get a sack and they score. They're down 7 points. Who cares?
I do.
I don't.
I do.
Don't worry. They're gonna, dude. They're celebrating. Okay. Well, you're celebrating down 14-0.
Yeah.
So what?
What do you mean?
So what?
What do you? I never understood that. I never understood that.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do those guys celebrating after individual plays in a game, does it really matter?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. And the other thing is, Kevin Stefanski, Jim Schwartz can't go to those guys and tell them to knock it off because that's how you lose a locker room. All right? Who cares? Really, I'm telling you. And this is meant to some of the people out there, too, that cover this team. It does not matter. I know that's easy pickings, and people want to say, like, oh, my God, that's such a bad look. Just stop. Just stop. Who cares? I'll tell you what. They're going to celebrate after they make plays. You know,
At least
they're going to drop the football when they pick up a first down. They're going to point when they get the first down. They're
At
going to
least
get
make
fined for
sure
the bow and arrow celebration, all that kind of stuff.
The
Nobody
play
cares.
stands for you
Nobody
put on a Broadway show.
Just don't worry about it. Don't waste your time on it.
Matt,
Don't
how are you?
I'm telling you. Because you're angry. I get it. I know you're all upset right now. I get it. Bro, that's not our problem right now. That's not them celebrating after a play is not.
I'm more upset
in the factor
about
right
that bonehead play from Newsome.
No, that was. And that's, again, when you're that, like, wide ass open to get to the quarterback, don't even hit him. Don't even
That was
hit
the
him.
dumbest shit I've seen this
Put
season.
the hands up, and if the pass, just that's it. Just going like this, You're right. Okay, that's fine. Bad. No good outside of Amari. And I did say I thought forced fumbles. Okay, you forced it on the kickoff. You got one a little bit later. You did force some turnovers in the game. So again, a little positive to take out. The bad. Malik Neighbors just absolutely deep frying, torching.
I told you, rookie of the
MJ
year. I
Anderson.
told you, rookie of the year.
You're right.
I told you.
Yeah, I didn't want to go. Don't even look at those odds. Did you place that
no,
bet?
I didn't. I'm so
You know
stupid.
those odds are
I know.
plus 400 at this
Especially
point.
after
plus
Caleb
400.
threw up another shit
Oh,
ball.
yeah. And, what, Harrison didn't even get 100 yards, 64 yards, something from Marvin
I
Harrison?
told you, Neighbors is
You're right.
different.
You're right. And man, did he smoke us. And no adjustments there of, like, we're going to double cover him and let freaking Darius Slayton beat us or let Wandale Robinson do it.
Oh, and then I don't know if you remember this play. Then they, for some reason, decided to put Greg Newsome on Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
And if Daniel Jones didn't overthrow him, he busted
I remember
him, and that was a touchdown.
Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah. So Neighbors just torching him was in the bad. I said even defensively, we got screen passed to death. They were running tight end screens. They were doing bubbles to the running backs. We had nothing. Missed tackles. Jeremiah on the 1. I know.
Well, yeah, and you're right. They would have punted from their own 5. What that led to a touchdown because Jock missed a tackle and then Craig missed. Oh my God.
Yep. Missed tackles, screen path to death.
Dude, he's
bad. Watson inaccuracy. Now, again, we've gotten very hot and heavy about Deshaun Watson today. I'm very angry. Offensive line, you don't have time to throw. He's going to be inaccurate, but he had some wide open throws that he just dirted, and that is what it is. The game plan had 0 adjustments. 0.
What?
I'm sitting on my couch screaming, they're going to blitz you. They're going to blitz you. Why don't we prepare for that? Now, again, after the game, supposedly Joel Bitonio was kind of letting it leak. He goes, yeah, we were not ready for any of that.
What is Ken Dorsey's role?
Oh, I think that's fair. Again, circle all these guys. Circle all these guys. You know, the thing is that these guys work all week to come up with this game plan and come up with the script. Sometimes you got to take that old little script right there and you got to say, all right, this is all that we're going to do. Geez, right here. Nope, not working today. We're going to do something else. And they didn't do that yesterday. For some unknown reason, the game plan that wasn't working, they didn't rip up.
Maybe because
and
their
go to
quarterback
something
is
else.
Garbage.
Well, that's the thing. You sit there, Ryan, what were they going to go to? I don't know, right? Okay, so we're going to start running some plays that maybe we didn't practice all week. Okay, fine. But
and I do completely agree. A lot of it is on the game plan. Why in God's green earth, when your offensive line is that beat up and broken, are you running plays with just Judy and Cooper running routes that take 6 seconds to develop?
Okay, that's the other problem was why was there not quick hitting stuff? Because the guys were getting pressed. There was one specific one, I think on a 3rd down. And literally, Watson takes the snap. They drop back. They're ready to go. And they changed their defense. Like basically what it was, they were talking about the broadcast, right? And they said, why don't you just throw it short? Because these guys were open. They stepped right up and they took it away. And you go, well, that's why.
Matt, I got to ask you this question.
Sure.
And we kind of already talked about it, but I didn't get your answer.
Yeah.
I wasn't alive in 99, right? Obviously, we know that's the great year the Browns came back. Listen, this 2-year sample size that we have from Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound insane, but I got your honest opinion. You've seen more football than I have. Is this not the worst you've seen a quarterback play since 99 on the Browns? And they've had awful play.
No, buddy. You were there for Deshaun Kaiser, bro.
But here's the thing.
Don't bring the contract.
I don't even know if that was as
Don't bring it
bad.
up. Don't do it. Don't bring that contract up. Don't do it.
I'm not even bringing it up, but Matt, that's how bad Deshaun Watson has been.
No, that's like a rookie, 2nd round. I get it. I understand. No, there have been worse. There have been worse. Now, the problem is that, again, going back to something we all need to adopt, I can't even look back to last year. Stop bringing up what Deshaun... No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about other people. Stop bringing up what Deshaun Watson did 5 years ago. 5. And there's an uncomfortable reality that might be out there that the Browns got bamboozled. And they thought by trading for Deshaun Watson that they'd grab that guy from 5 years ago. And maybe those cards are going to go bust, man. You might have rolled snake eyes on this whole thing. We'll cross that bridge later. But I've seen worse. I have. I'm not even bullshit. I swear to God, I've seen worse. I have seen worse.
Oh my God.
I have. No, I'm saying I've seen worse. I've seen worse. All right. Dude, I can't even tell you that there were worse games from Baker. There were. Now, again, you're getting the totality of things, right? Like you're talking about the whole body of work here. I've seen worse games. It's okay. I've seen worse. I'll tell you that. Trust me. I've seen worse. All right, next up, the ugly. The offensive line. And again, I'm going to factor that in as my other ugly was the injuries. You had no contingency plans. Why they didn't elevate another tackle, I have no idea. You were down to your last couple guys. You could tell me, well, you don't game plan for injuries or you don't bring guys because of injury. Jack Conklin. Like, I'm ready to just wash my hands of Conklin and Jed Wills. Seriously. And the problem is that they're combined to make, what, $25 million? And they can't get on the field? And even when Jed was in there, he was a freaking turnstile.
I don't know. Maybe that's what you get for rewarding complacency.
Good work. You're right. Complacency was kind of where it was at. And now your sole focus will have to be rebuilding that line because there's not much salvageable pieces in it right now. And I'm going to maybe ask Jack Conklin, much like I brought up with Jed Wills, let's not get carried away. These guys are still coming off of injuries, not played football in a year. What did Wills make it? 3 quarters? 3 quarters. Guy's been out for almost a year. Comes back and makes it 3 quarters. And it wasn't his fault. They got leg whipped into. What are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do? Like, again, I'm going to leave this door open for Andrew Berry. Whether or not he walks through it and does something, I don't know. But you're not going to be able to maintain this. There's no way. And again, if they want to slide Joel Bitonio out there and that's your permanent fix and go trade for a guard or something like that, I don't know. I really don't. But like, you're gonna, and maybe it's picking off the scrap heap. What's Michael Dunn up to? Go give me Michael Dunn back. Go give me Blake Hance. I don't know.
But this is another point that's it's all coming back to. Maybe you could go get a guy, or you could have this offseason if you didn't have to, not, I don't want to say waste, but if you didn't always constantly have to go trade for guys like Amari Cooper, trade for guys like Jerry Jeudy, because you could draft a damn receiver.
No, I mean, you're talking about cutting your nose off to spite your face because you have deficiencies elsewhere, so that you have to allocate resources to make up for those deficiencies.
Why can every other team in the NFL find a gem except the Browns?
No, they found gems, man. They found gems.
What
found gems?
What gems?
Okay.
You're gonna say Andrew Berry can draft corners.
Up until this couple of games, you thought you had one to MJ Emerson. I mean, DeJuan Jones,
Greg
you
Newsome
thought had one.
Greg Newsome, ass. Siaki Ika, ass.
No, that was bad.
I mean,
maybe he can play guard.
I mean,
he's a load. Put him over at guard.
Michael Hall.
Put him over at guard.
Michael Hall.
How did you know that was going to go the way?
Deshaun Watson, criminal. It's infuriating.
Welcome to life of a Browns fan, bro. It's never going to be easy. It was never going to be easy.
It's like, does AB get a pass?
No, nobody. With this situation, nobody gets a pass.
So the next year, if this stays belly up, if this all goes belly up,
they're all going to be here. And I sit there and I tell you to stop bringing up Deshaun Watson's contract. Well, I'm going to sit here and tell you, Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry got fat, brand new contracts. Ain't going anywhere. I'm not saying you can't be angry. I'm not saying we can't call them out and bring it up that yesterday was an ass game plan and we have deficiencies on this team. I'm also just looking at it. You've got no choice. You've got no choice with Deshaun Watson. You've got no choice with Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry. You've got no choice with this offensive line. You got to make some chicken salad out of chicken poop. That's exactly where we're at right now. You have got to find a way to piece this together.
Gordon Ramsay
and
couldn't do that.
What? They might not. They might not, and you're right. This could go belly up, and this could go really bad. But for right now, I'm going to give them the runway to try to figure something out. You got to rally this up. And you want to know the other thing, with Kevin Stefanski, specifically talking about him and Ken Dorsey, maybe go into this game and go back to the tricks. Remember when Freddie would run these tricks all the time, the reverses and the pass and that kind of stuff? Maybe that's what we got to do. If you have got to change who you are as an offense to make this something that is deceiving or time of possession or whatever else you want, I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm just so blown. What were they working on all offseason with Ken Dorsey in this revamped offense? It's looked worse. But in injuries aside.
Yeah, but what was the big thing coming out of training camp and preseason? Offense looked bad. You looked bad, and you just thought they'd be able to turn around when the season started. We're wrong. We're down. I'm not saying we're not down. I just have no choice but to believe that we're gonna bring it back.
Start James Winston. I'm just saying, but why
not
know. Just for a game to see?
Because I think you're gonna have the same results. And the Cleveland Browns. Here's the thing. Okay. Well, listen. When you do that, you're done with Deshaun Watson.
Fine.
Yeah, but they can't be there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Not there yet. And the Browns can't be there either. No, they can't be there. They can't be there. But when you do that, there is no coming back. So you had better be damn sure.
How could you not be?
I don't think they are.
If your offensive line isn't going to be this way for another 6, but Matt.
Dude, Jameis Winston's not playing tackle for you. Okay? You could put him back there, and the problem is it's actually going to be worse because Jameis is a pocket passer, and all he can do is drop back. He can't run like those guys. I'd actually, if you really want to do something spicy, put DTR in there.
No.
That's my point. Like, dude, what? I'm not defending Deshaun Watson. He has got to play better. But when he has no time to throw, there's nothing you can do.
But when he has time to throw, he dirts it. Like, we can blame the offensive line as much as we want, and they were horrible. But like, at some point, your $230 million quarterback is supposed to make your offensive line look better than they are.
I know. You're not there. You're not there. And all you got to do is keep pushing to try to get there. That's it. That's all I got for you. All right, what do you want to do here?
I want to jump off Key Bank.
No, don't do that. Okay, so here's what we got. We got to go around the league. Could save that for tomorrow if you want, because we do have 2 Monday night games tonight.
Up to you.
We still have the morning update. We got Big C's The Gray news. I got to bring that up. That's some positivity for us here at Big Play. We'll get to in a second. We have to do the grid because it's a fresh week.
Yeah.
That would be something to pull us out of the cellar right now. Would be getting the grid. Then we have time hop. And then we got to get our plays for Monday Night Football. It's 10-10. What do you want to do? Do you want to do the morning update?
Yeah.
Did you just have NFL stuff to go around the league?
It's up to you. I have things for both. I'm just reading Charles's comment, which is good. Three firsts for an average quarterback at best, plus the miss on Wills, getting nothing for Baker. That 5 first-round picks, no roster can survive that.
I get it. That's right. And that's the thing. You just maybe you're getting towards this rebuild. Maybe that's it. You got to pay the piper.
The most expensive team is on a rebuild.
You might eventually, man. You got to pay the piper.
At least,
and that's might be that. But I'm not ready to jettison all of it. Okay.
But
Let's wrap this up. Then we'll move on. We'll do morning update. I want to get to the grid. But let's just kind of wrap this up succinctly right now.
Okay.
We feel horrible today. And you should. And I want to let everybody get it out. I want to vent. I want to feel better. But the one thing we have got to remember, for better or worse, it ain't over. You got a lot of football to go. Okay? Games like this happen. And I'm going to look to this team and the culture that they've built here and some of the players to pull this out of the fire. It's bad. I'm not trying to say it's not. But we can't give up. We're not done. Okay? A couple of wins could turn this around. This could go really bad, too. But I guess the one thing that I want people to grab onto from us this morning, for better or worse, it ain't over. It's not. It could get better. It could get worse. But I do have one factual statement that you cannot argue with me on today. It's not over. It's not. It's not. Deshaun Watson is not over. This offensive line, not over. The defense, Myles Garrett, Amarco, it's not over yet. Okay? So you want to, again, cash that token on in. There's your one loss for the season that you shouldn't have had. We run into them. Every team runs into them. There's your one. There's your one. And you got 14 games to go. What this mental makeup of this team will tell you all you need to know. When they get back out of practice on Wednesday and Thursday, when we see, are they truly able to flip the page? Are they really able to Bob Seger this and turn the page and focus on Sunday?
Great song.
I love that song. Great song.
Metallica's cover is good, too.
Yes, it is. It is, very much so. That's a great bracket of the best cover.
That would be good.
Disturbed, Sound of Silence or whatever.
Yeah, that's good.
Higher Ground, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Stevie Wonder cover. Johnny Cash. People always think Johnny Cash wrote Hurt. No. 9 Inch Nails wrote Hurt, and Johnny Cash did that. It's not over yet. We're not done. Okay? You just got to have belief.
Can I one more point? Can I one more point? If we're talking about it's not over.
It's not.
And it's not. You're right. I can't argue that. It's week 3. It's not
progress.
Over. But if we're buying into the fact that we were both big believers in Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry and the culture that they've built. And if there is still a chance, then why not do what we did last year and see what you have in Jameis Winston?
Sure.
Like, to me, that culture you're talking about, there seems to be a common denominator, and his last name is Watson.
Ryan, what did we talk a little bit about earlier?
We're talking about this
last year's
this
over.
ceiling of Deshaun Watson. Yes.
Last year's over.
It's over, but it
And that
doesn't
was
mean
lightning
the
about,
but
like,
it doesn't mean the but if there's still that chance, this quote unquote ceiling that you have with Deshaun Watson over Jameis Winston, I just don't think it's there.
Here's what you are getting at. You're talking about going down with the ship with Deshaun Watson, right? You're talking about this season.
That's what you're talking about.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm telling you, that's what you got to do.
But okay, so then,
and this could go bad. And I said that before this season started. But you have no choice but to ride this out with Deshaun Watson. And if the ship goes down, we're going to miss the playoffs, and this is going to be a really hard year, and we will get into a semi-rebuild after this year, and we'll move forward. But for right now, you are still in Deshaun Watson is going to keep starting for you. That's it.
But wouldn't...
That's it. That's it. I know it's going to anger you. I know you want
wouldn't you just,
an easy fix. There is no easy fix.
You
want an easy solution, and it's not
but
there.
At the end of the season, wouldn't you want at least a little bit of evidence and trust that, holy...
You're talking about...
Like,
okay, so what you're talking about is Andy Dalton versus Bryce Young.
For the sake of Ken Dorsey coming in here and not just standing on the sideline, maybe he has an influence. Wouldn't you want a little bit of evidence to grab at the end of the season?
You're talking about the betterment of the team versus the individual, right? Is this the best move for the team? What you're also talking about is Bryce Young versus Andy Dalton. And you're talking about they will have an answer in Carolina, and probably got that on Sunday, that if it was really Bryce Young or if it was the offense. They got their answers. Andy Dalton's first quarterback throw 300 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half all season. It was very clear that Bryce Young. They now have that answer. What I'm telling you is the smoking gun right now, there is no change because I don't think any quarterback can play in this system. I don't think anything with as broken as the offensive line is, I don't think any quarterback, unless maybe prime Mike Vick, you ain't going to win. So there's no point in making the flip.
I don't know if that's true.
With that offensive line, with what they did Sunday, I don't think anybody's going to win that game. I could be wrong. But at this point, I don't think a changes anything. I don't think going to Jameis Winston is your solution. I'm sure Kevin Stefanski wants this too. You want an easy solution. You actually want one singular solution to the problem. There isn't one.
And I agree with that. I agree with that.
So fix the other stuff first. Fix the offensive line first.
Something.
That's all. Literally, that's it for me. You have got to fix the offensive line first. And today will be a massive day to find out how injured some of these guys are going to be. And then, again, I don't want it to be Weeks' thing, but the only positive is if it's a Weeks' thing, then you really have no choice but to go out and change some of this or try to get out and get somebody else. I don't know, right? Like, that's the thing. If it's like, it's going to be a couple of weeks or it's going to be like they'll be back in a week or two, then you're kind of stuck in this no man's land. If I'm Andrew Berry, and I'm sure this has kept him up all night, he's asking himself, what can I do to fix up this offensive line? Now, the same thing to Andy Dickerson, the same thing to the offensive game planners, fix that. But I just don't think you're doing anything without fixing that offensive line. Then, I'll tell you what, here's why you really need to fix it. Then I can have the conversation of an evaluation to Deshaun Watson. Then I can have the conversation.
No, stop.
Why?
We can't keep pushing back this event.
I'm not pushing it back.
You just said you are.
No.
You said you have to wait till you can get a clear evaluation of Deshaun Watson.
I said for that game. The first 2 games were honest evaluations. It was bad and a little bit better. I've got a write-off yesterday. Come Sunday, I might not have that same opinion. I don't know. Ryan, how can anybody play with that offense? Seriously. How can anybody truthfully play behind that offensive line and win games?
I told you. I agree. Okay. I'm not saying you put Patrick Mahomes behind there, you win the game. I'm not saying
how
that.
can you how can you evaluate Watson?
Because I watched him dirt balls, because I watched him throw over people's heads.
Couple of throws. Sure. Yes. Right. Okay. Yeah, Mike, my advice to you is to get some garage beer and start drinking heavily. I think a lot of people did that yesterday, and a lot of people in Cincinnati are doing that tonight. All right, morning update.
We got to get our Reds bet.
Oh, that's
Series
right.
Starts tomorrow.
Text those guys.
We can flip over to a good Cleveland team.
Well, I'll tell you what. Text those guys, see if Drew or Bangalore want to come on tomorrow.
All right.
Text those guys, see if they want to come on tomorrow. Yeah, we should flip over to a good team. All right, what do you want to do? You want to do the morning update? I got to bring up the Seize the Great news. Big news for Ed. So let's do the morning update. Let's do around the league tomorrow.
Okay.
Because then we'll have all the games. I've got the records, all that kind of stuff. We'll do it tomorrow. Ryan's got the morning update stories you got to know. Take it away, Ryan. You feel better or worse? You feel a little bit better, you feel worse? I think you feel worse.
I mean,
when the morning started.
I feel better that I got some anger out.
Yeah, get it out. Get it out.
But I
get
don't
it out.
feel
Just
good
get
by
it out.
any means.
That's fine. That's fine. All right. Morning update, stories got to know. Take it away, Ryan.
You know what? Maybe I would feel a little bit happier if I was an Ohio State fan because they're a good football team.
Yeah, they didn't cover them.
And right now, I'm a fan of a very bad
Good
football
teams
team.
win. Great teams cover.
Whatever. Ohio State, they wipe the floor with Marshall. They win 49-14. No, they don't cover, but that's all right. They're still 3-0. Mecca Buka goes 5 receptions, 117 yards, a touchdown. Quinshon Judkins stole the show. 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ohio State moves on to Michigan State.
Yeah, and again, the bye week, a lot of people were getting a little antsy early in that game about coming off the bye. And you're right. Hey, you took care of business. You could have been some of these other teams that faltered and all that. You're in a prime spot. Now we enter Big Ten play, and I like what I've seen out of the Buckeyes. All that you put into the offense, it's kind of crazy to see that Quinshon Judkins has surpassed Travion Henderson, which is crazy. But hey, give credit to Ohio State, man. They said these are the best guys we can bring in. Here we are. They're cooking. They're fine. They didn't cover. That's all right. Get ready to go for the Big Ten play. You're in a prime spot right now. Love what I saw of the Buckeyes.
Alrighty, well, the Guardians, they do, in fact, clinch the AL Central.
You don't like to do it that way, but that's fine.
Popping champagne after a loss in the locker room, but well-deserved. Now they look on to take on the Reds at home. First game is tomorrow, 6:40. Tanner Bybee on the mound.
Here's the crazy thing about how jumbled up this is now. So we're in the second spot right now pretty solidly, to be honest with you, right? So in the league, we are 2.5 up on the Orioles with a week to play, all right? The Orioles, dude, how about the Twins? How about the Royals?
Trash.
Right now, the Twins would not make the playoffs. The Tigers, who are surging, have made it. I'm really interested to see how that wild card plays on out. For the interest for us, again, we have Cincinnati who's out of it. Baltimore goes to New York starting tomorrow.
That'd be huge.
That is huge.
Huge.
Huge. So they have the Yankees, then they have the Twins. 2 playoff teams that are going to be scrapping. This is going to help. For the Guardians, you got the Reds, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. And then you're down to Houston, which, again, Houston's going to be fighting, too, mostly for seeding they're in. But what a spot for them to be in. I want the bye. That's what I'm fighting for. I don't like some of those issues that they had with the bats, again, showing up the way that they did. Don't like that, but it is what it is. Nice job by the Guards. Congratulations. AL Central champions. Let's roll. Get that 2 seed. That's all I ask.
All right, breaking news. The White Sox are ass. They lose their 120th game of the season. That ties the New York Mets' 1962 record. Now the Angels will look to make them officially the worst team I've ever seen, even though I don't think it's
worst team of all ever
official, as they take on the White Sox Tuesday, 7:40.
Yeah, at that point, what motivation is that? And I say that because those individual guys like Grady Sizemore, they won't get remembered for that. You know, there's things that carry with guys, but I say the same thing like when Shohei, the pitcher that gave up his 50-50, nobody remembers that. It was the guy that gave up the home run for Barry Bonds. The individual guys will be able to fight through that. Like, are you really going to sit there and remember Garrett Crochet was on that team? No, you're just like, dude, they suck. I don't put so much on Grady. If I were him, I actually hope you don't keep that job. But they play hard for him. They just aren't good. There's no motivation to say, well, you don't want to avoid being the worst team in baseball history. They're really bad. So what?
Lastly, here for the morning update, maybe the biggest surprise from the NFL in Week 3. Andy Dalton leads the Panthers to a victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. The Red Rocket goes 26 for 37, 319 yards, and 3 touchdowns. We get our first look at what might be a very early demise for Bryce Young.
Yeah, I mean, they say they want to start him again because there are reports that multiple teams called the Panthers to try to trade for Bryce Young.
That ain't happening.
Yeah, I don't think for conditional 7, sure, maybe. And the Panthers, I think, did the right thing. No, This is a growing opportunity for him. You can't bail on him yet, just like the Browns can't bail on Deshaun Watson. The Panthers are not bailing on Bryce Young. They will have him start again at some point in the season, and hopefully learn some things. We'll see. I mean, they don't have another option right now. Can't just jettison the guy. Gotta see. You gotta see what it is.
I guess, man. I guess.
Final thing, Seize the Gray. $1 million, baby. Congratulations to Ken.
Do we get some of that?
We don't own Seize the Gray. We're in on Lahaina Luck.
Ken could still be nice.
I guess if you wanted to. Folks that don't know, we are partnered up with our friends at My Racehorse. And that's the thing. Ryan has a piece of a horse named Lahaina Luck. So do I. And My Racehorse is so just amazing on what they do. You can go follow Big Play Horse, and you will see all of our updates on there. Where it is, My Racehorse, great idea. There's all these people that buy these horses for millions of dollars, right? They give it to you and I. They give you a piece to you and I, if you want it, of joining in on this horse. Seize the Gray, Triple Crown winner, one of the Triple Crown races, took home the $1 million Pennsylvania Derby this past weekend, a Grade 1 race. Dude, and he smoked it. I watched the replay right out. He's an easy horse to see. He's a pretty horse. He's the gray horse. Just boom, right out the gate there. So congratulations. Go get hooked up with My Racehorse. You can download the app like I did. You get all the updates on the horse that you're in. And again, the Big Play Horse is Lahaina Luck. That's sold out quick. But they're going to have other horses coming up. And they also just have regular horses out there and available for anybody. But if you were in on Seize the Gray, you would get a piece of that. The $1 million Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby this past weekend for Seize the Gray. So congratulations to Ken, to everybody over there at My Racehorse, Dwayne Lucas, Jaime Torres, their jockey. Great stuff, man. So much fun to see that for our guys at Seize the Gray down there in the Pennsylvania Derby. Can you imagine that, man? Just getting out there, $1 million on the line. Boom, let's go. Seize the Gray. Well, it's not quite $1 million on the line.
Dude, they will not stop putting Washington in. This is getting ridiculous.
I know, we should just get better with Washington is what we need. All right, this is an important week because if we get all 5 days, there'll be a prize coming to all you out there. All right, ready to go? Are we in a good frame of mind for
absolutely
this?
Not.
Absolutely not. Let's see what, maybe that's good. Go.
1,000 yards rushing, O.J. Simpson.
Sure.
I mean, who do you want to do?
You can do Jamal Lewis, probably. Or Jamal Lewis. I always say that, and he didn't play there. Rudy Johnson. I'm Joe Mixon, probably. He didn't play at either one of those spots. Right? Is that not a tricky one where, like, wait, Joe Mixon actually doesn't have 1,000 yards? It's got to be Joe.
No, I know it for a fact he does.
You can do Kareem Hunt if you wanted to.
True. Or we could do Jamal Charles.
Yeah, go Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt definitely did it with the Chiefs, right?
Yeah. He led the league in rushing that year. All right, let's just open our minds here.
Can we not do Washington?
I know. I really wish we didn't have to.
All right, Gabe Davis. What, is it Gabriel Davis?
Probably. I don't know. All right. Yeah, isn't there something screaming there?
Marvin Jones.
Is it?
No. Did he play for Bengals?
Yeah, Marvin Jones did for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played for Jaguars.
Hold on to it. We'll all right, if you're feeling
positive he played for the Bengals.
Very positive.
And I'm positive he played for
Pretty sure, yeah. Pretty sure. Okay.
Look, he's even got the Jaguar on the picture.
There you go. Jags Chiefs. Is that Frank Clark?
Is that not Nick Foles?
Oh yeah.
Did Nick Foles play for Jaguars? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Nick Foles. Okay. Commanders, man. All right. All right. RG3, none of those spots. Pierre Garçon, not any of those spots.
What's that dude's face? EJ Manuel? Did you ever play Washington?
No, I don't think so. Oh, so you're going to go down the other. Yeah, you're going on the other side. Alex Smith, Washington, Kansas City. The longer one. The other one's the tight end that used to play for the Browns. There you go. Okay.
I literally hate Washington.
I know. Sorry, we're off to a good start. We got plenty of time. Off to a good start. All right, again, RG3, no. Jacoby Brissett doesn't work for either one of those other ones, unfortunately. Does Ryan Fitzpatrick not work for both of them? He does.
Yeah, he does.
He does. Okay, so now our game is to be played here.
Sure.
Can we find another one?
Did Deshaun Jackson ever play for the Bills?
You know, I want to say yes, but I think I'm thinking of Shady McCoy.
Wait.
What?
Am I making this up, or did Adrian Peterson play for the Bills?
I think you're making that up.
Okay.
You might be. Are you confusing him with Marshawn Lynch?
No.
Okay. I don't think so. I could be wrong.
Did Frank Gore play for Washington?
I don't think so. No.
Did Josh Norman play for the Bills?
Ooh.
I don't know.
I don't think so. Stephon Gilmore didn't play in Washington. What?
Did
I don't remember if Mark Brunell played in either one of those spots.
what about Alfred Morris?
That's a deep cut. Now, I remember him in Dallas. I don't remember either one of those spots.
Okay. Did Tyler Eifert play for the?
I thought about that. No, he went down to Jacksonville and then he retired early. Then, do you remember Chris Cooley? Mm-hmm. He was a tight end in Washington forever. He went somewhere else to finish out his career.
What about
and I wanted to say it was Cincinnati, but I can't remember.
No. Vernon Davis, didn't he play for Washington?
Yeah, he did, but I don't think he went to either one of those other spots. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I can't think of any Washington receiver. Oh! Curtis Samuel. He just got to Buffalo.
Is that he did?
Yeah. And then we can go Fitz.
Did we pull it off?
I think so.
Fitz magic? Why are there so many Fitz?
That's one day. Nice job.
Chad Henne, Priest Holmes.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
That's a good start.
I like it. We're off to the... that's one.
Yeah.
That's one. 4 days to go.
And we still have our Wordle save.
We do have our Wordle save.
We usually use that on Mondays.
Yeah, Monday has been our bugaboo day for sure. That's been pretty bad. So here we go. Okay, let's do this. Let's catch a break because we do need one. So let's catch a break. When we come back, run through Time Hop. We'll get our plays for tonight. We'll get you going. 2 Monday Night Football games. We'll wrap some things up from the Guardians. I will say I've not seen anything update on the Browns' injuries. We'll see all that. But again, catch our break. Come back. Plenty to get to. Let's go. Stay with us.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Even though our strength of schedule was number 1 in the NFL, I think we have the dogs up front. We have the dogs in the back as it relates to our defense. Our defense alone keeps us in these games. Not even talking about offense. Let's just say Deshaun Watson isn't there. We got dogs on the defensive side that's mirroring the potential of the Ravens from 2001 or 2000 Ravens with Jamal Lewis and the boys and Ray Lewis and those guys.
And them, right.
They won. Again, no disrespect to Trent Dilfer, but they won without a high-powered offense.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the Law. Here's the buyer. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
All right, welcome back. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. You can follow on Twitter, X, at Matt Fontana Show. We're always up on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. Just search Matt Fontana Show. All right, let's run through a quick time hop. Pretty busy day on the movie side of things for you over there as well, Ryan. Then we get our plays for tonight, Monday Night Football. And I think eventually, towards the end of the show, I want to leave time to just wrap this all to just put a bow on this. And I like our bracket, best cover song of all time. You want to do that one?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So we'll do that a little bit later. But first, we go back in time. This day... Oh, wait. You know how I do it. Sometimes I struggle to get time operating.
Yes.
It's a busy day of just treading through this kind of bull crap. But no, I thought the Browns would have played 1 year ago today, but they didn't. Damn leap years. Hang on. I'll go back to 2021. Nope. Don't got to worry about it. Don't have a Browns game for a little while. So we go back. This day, 2021, Odell Beckham spoke at practice, Ryan, for the first time in almost a calendar year. Could you imagine how awkward that was? That Odell was here. He was coming off the injury. We didn't talk to him for a year. Yeah. They didn't make available at all through training camp. And eventually he was going to come back and play. And well, we have to speak to him. And eventually did for 1 year. I don't even remember what he said. I have the sound, but it's like, he didn't say anything. He was just like, oh, happy to be back, whatever. But could you imagine going a year without talking to a player?
Well, now he's a Super Bowl champion.
Yep, it is what it is.
Sometimes good things happen when people leave Cleveland, I guess.
I guess. Exactly. But it is what it is. All right, next up this day, 2018, Tiger Woods won the Tour Championship. It was his first win in 5 years and his 80th career PGA Tour win. Very famous one for the New England Patriots. This day, 2001, Drew Bledsoe took a hit from a linebacker, causing a concussion and internal bleeding, leading to some sixth-round draft pick named Tom Brady to walk on in and play.
I bet the Patriots didn't think that was going to happen.
Well, they probably didn't. They had to go in with Tom Brady. I guess that all kind of worked out. A bit of a sad one. Bob Marley passed away this day, 1980. This day, 1846, Neptune was discovered. What's your favorite planet?
Probably Earth, I guess.
I would say probably is a good pick there on that one. The sun. Well, it's not a planet. It's a star. Still one of our favorites. This day, 1806, Lewis and Clark returned to St. Louis, Missouri, ending their expedition after 3 years of exploring the Great Northwest. Very happy birthday goes out to former Bengals coach Marvin Lewis, John Harbaugh, Marty Schottenheimer, former Browns wide receiver Quincy Morgan, former Cavalier Ricky Davis, Jabba Chamberlain, Chris Johnson, the running back, Duke Johnson, the other running back, Bruce Springsteen, Mickey Rooney, Ray Charles, Anthony Mackie, Matt Hardy, and Jason Alexander, all celebrating birthdays today. Pretty solid list. All right, I got a lot for you today.
All right.
on the movies and TV shows. We start with a film released this day, 2011. This is a sports film. I think Paul D. Podesta has something to do with this.
Moneyball?
Yeah, I laid that up. It wasn't a good one. I tried. I should have said the aggregate, right? If you would have said the aggregate, what have you got with Moneyball? I've actually never seen Moneyball.
I don't know.
I've never seen Moneyball. I just know of it. I know the clips that I get to be seen. So you got to replace Johnny Damon? Well, yeah, we're going to place him with the aggregate. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we're going to do it this way. Moneyball is practiced in 2009. All right, next up, a television show that debuted this day, 2009.
Okay.
An American sitcom that ran for 11 seasons.
Modern Family.
That is correct.
Wow.
Nice.
Look at me.
That is correct. The series follows the lives of three diverse families set up living in suburban LA who are irrelated through their patriarch, Jay Pritchett. Was that...
yeah. That's who marries Sofia Vergara.
That's Ed O'Neill. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's him. Yeah, that's him. And then, Sofia Vergara, Ty Burrell. I'm not seeing it, but
it's
no.
really good.
Is it good? Modern
very
Family,
good,
this
very
day, 2009. All right, I don't know if you're going to get this one because we go back to a TV show all the way back in 2003. This was an American drama film that...
What? You just said it was a show.
I'm sorry, American drama television show that debuted on the WB. It's one of the more famous shows to ever be on the WB. And then eventually on the CW. And I wanted to see something that a revival of the series was reportedly in development. It was actually just reported a couple of weeks ago that a revival of this TV show is coming. It was set in the fictional town in North Carolina. I can't say the name of the town because you'd get it. The main storyline in the early season was the relationship between two half-brothers.
Oh, I know it. It's One Tree Hill.
One Tree Hill is correct.
Let's go.
One Tree Hill is correct.
Quit playing with me, bro.
Chad Michael Murray.
Yeah.
Did he not? Oh, no, he's still alive.
No, he's good.
But didn't he run into some trouble or something like that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
Chad Michael Murray. One Tree Hill is correct. Can't say I've ever seen it. All right, next up, another sports film.
Okay.
This day, 2000. I hold this one in high regard. I think it's one of the best sports films ever made.
Is it a comedy or not?
No, not very comedic.
Coach Carter?
No. Based on true stories.
Rudy?
Based on true... No, Rudy's been the 90s. 2000.
Based on a true story?
Yes.
Miracle?
No.
The Ducks one?
No.
Mighty
That
Ducks?
was not based on a true story, but okay. I like where your head's at. You're on the wrong sport with that one. You've mentioned movies that play this sport, but it wasn't that.
Is it football?
Yeah, it's football.
Oh, God. Remember the Titans?
That is correct. You blitz all night.
That was the Giants.
That was the Giants yesterday. Yes, you blitz all night. Remember the Titans.
Never seen it.
What? What?
Yep.
Dude, you got to go watch that. That's the...
Is that a young Ryan Gosling?
Yes. All right, I'm searching this one quick because this is a factual statement that, yes, okay. This is a film released this day, 1994. And it holds the record as the highest rated movie in IMDb history.
What
it
year?
has 1994.
Oh my God. Why can't I think of the name?
You tell me.
Prison, right?
Yeah.
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 Tim Robbins. Oh
yeah.
my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption is correct. It has 2.9 million ratings on IMDb. And it's got a 9.3. Would you dare guess what is second? The 9.2.
The Godfather.
The Godfather's correct. And even 9 for The Dark Knight, The Godfather Part 2, 12 Angry Men, Schindler's List,
Casablanca's up there.
The Lord of the Rings, all at 9. Pulp Fiction, an 8.9. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring is an 8.9. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is 8.8, as is Forrest Gump, another Lord of the Rings. Then Fight Club, Inception, Empire Strikes Back, The Matrix, Goodfellas, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Interstellar, and Seven are all the top 20 movies on IMDb.
Notice how Jaws wasn't on there?
Oh. Jaws has to be on here somewhere. Jaws is ranked 201 at an 8.1, just ahead of Ratatouille.
Trash.
I gotta sign in, bump it up a little bit. All right, final one, a television show.
I'm perfect, aren't I?
So far, let's see. Don't pull a Browns and get too cocky over there, Ryan. 1962, an animated television show.
Oh, God.
Has to do with a family.
Animated?
Yeah.
Was it Disney?
No, Disney wasn't that big. This is all like Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Was what?
You don't know about Hanna-Barbera?
Hannibal Buress?
No, Hanna-Barbera was like Scooby-Doo and...
Oh, jeez. Can I get a description?
Kind of might give it away.
Whoa. I'm just supposed to know by the year?
Yeah, and I said it follows a family. George is the father.
Of the jungle.
No.
Flintstones.
No, but
the Jetsons.
That is correct. Woo! I was going to say the opposite of the Flintstones because the Jetsons were set like in the future. What was it? George was the father. I wish I could play the theme. Wife Jane, son Elroy, and then Judy. Astro, the space mutt, was their dog. You know, they're flying around, dropping them off at school. The Jetsons is correct. They're a pretty solid day. Moneyball, Modern Family, One Tree Hill, Remember the Titans, Shawshank Redemption, and the Jetsons. All this day in history for you. All right, history I want to look back on and say we won some cash today. Doubleheader. Monday Night Football. Let's roll. We start Jags and Buffalo. I've got this at 5.5, Ryan. We're going to play it at 5 for Buffalo at home as they get ready to go for this one. Extra rest for the undefeated Bills, as of course they played on Thursday. The Jags are 0-2, won the meeting between these two teams last year, but that was in London. That's a little bit of a different one. Buffalo is more about fading the Jags. Jacksonville enters Monday Night Football 0-2 in a bottom net 10 EPA with some of the worst quarterback play in the league. Talking about Trevor Lawrence. Josh Allen, in his career, is just 8-14-1 against the spread at home. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me reset this one. On extra rest. So anytime Josh Allen's played on a Thursday or he's got extra rest coming off the bye. Josh Allen is just 8-14-1 against the spread, including 5-8-1 at home, and he is 5-9-1 against the spread as a favorite on extra rest. On a Thursday night game with a Monday night game coming up. Since 2015, that extra rest has only happened twice in the first 3 weeks of the season. The Eagles beat the Bucs 25-11, and the Bills beat the Titans 41-7. In the first 4 regular season games of the season, Josh Allen is an impressive 16-9 against the spread in his career. Any game week 5 or later, he is 500 against the spread. Of Josh Allen's 70 career wins, 50 of those 70 have come by 7 points or more. Again, this is 5.5, so you'd look him to cover that. Josh Allen has closed as a favorite of 4 points or more 26 times over the last 3 full seasons. The Bills are just 8-17-1 against the spread in those games. I want to find you something here about Trevor Lawrence. On Monday Night Football, Lawrence... I'll get some Monday Night Football in a second. As far as the under goes, Trevor Lawrence is 32-22 to the under in his NFL career, making him the 3rd most profitable quarterback under in November or earlier. In his career, Lawrence is just 24-30 against the spread, but he is 19-18 against the spread with Doug Peterson. Lawrence, as we know, has lost 7 consecutive starts dating back to November of last season. As a road dog in a primetime game, Lawrence has been solid, winning twice outright and losing once by just 3 points. So again, 3 times in Trevor Lawrence's career has he been a road dog in a primetime game. He's won twice and covered the other one. On the road in his career, not all that good. Trevor Lawrence is just 8-18 straight up and 12-14 against the spread on the road in his last 26 games. Peterson as a coach, underdog, 33-26 against the spread in his career. Let me see if I can get you one more thing for Jacksonville. It's pretty much what I got. 5.5 is where I'm at. Give you some other quick trends here. Jacksonville is just 2-6 against the spread their last 8 games, as we know, on the 7-game losing streak. But they play Buffalo well. Jacksonville's 4-2 against the spread. Their last 6 games against Buffalo, they're also 4-2 straight up in their last 6 games against the Bills. You flip it over for Buffalo, 8-1 in their last 9, 5-1 in their last 6. Over is hit 5 out of their last 6 games at home against Jacksonville. 5.5 is the cover here.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville.
Okay.
Buffalo, it wouldn't shock me if Jacksonville won this game outright. It's a must win. I kind of like the under in this. I think they try to make it scrappy, run with Travis Etienne, ball control. I think Buffalo's going to win, but I think Jacksonville's going to cover. Ryan.
I'm going to take Jacksonville as well.
Okay.
Just because I have Bills defense starting tonight, and I need a good game for them, so I'm going to hedge your
bets there on your fantasy. There we go. To our guys down in Cincinnati, I know they're all geared up and ready to go as they welcome in the Commanders tonight. Bengals, a 7.5 point home favorite in this one.
Bengals losing is, I think, the only thing that can salvage my week.
Yeah, here we go. Bengals were 6.5 point underdogs last week versus the Chiefs and are now a touchdown favorite against the Commanders. They are the first team to go from +6 to -7 or higher in week 3 or earlier since 2020, and it's the 23rd time since 1990 that's happened. So again, I want to set this up. For a team to go by basically a touchdown dog to going to a touchdown favorite, that has only happened 23 times in the last 30 years. Those previous 22 teams were 20-2 straight up.
Damn.
But only 8-12-2 against the spread. So what's that telling you? They're going to win, or trends would tell you they're going to win.
But Commanders going to cover.
But they might not cover it, is where you're at. The Ravens lost their opener, a big favorite against the Raiders, and lost outright. Now it's the Bengals' turn.
Is this game in?
It's in Cincinnati.
Okay.
It's in Cincinnati. Favorites of 7 or more who are under 500 on the season are now 85-16 straight up, winning by an average of 10.5 points. So again, being under 500, but being favored by 7 or more, 85-16 straight up, covering by 10.5, 37-9 over the last 4 years. Favorites of 7 or more who are under 500, basically same trend. They smoke. They do really well on that one. Over the last 2 seasons, teams playing after the Chiefs and the Ravens are combined 48-23 straight up. That's good for Baltimore and Kansas City being, again, previous opponents being favored, coming back through. That leans towards the Bengals. Not much here for Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. Rookie quarterbacks since 2020 on the road are just 28, 77, and 1. When that game is on prime time, rookie quarterback on the road, they're actually a little bit better, though. 9-13 straight up, with 32% of rookie road wins coming in primetime games at night. As far as the Commanders go, they've lost 8 straight consecutive games as a dog, and they are 3-11 straight up in that spot last year. Since 2019, the Commanders are the 3rd worst team in moneyline profitability as dogs, because they're obviously dogs a lot. Commanders have won 3 straight Monday Night Football games, though, for the first time since 1976. And obviously, they haven't been on Monday Night Football in a long, not every year, but this goes back a few years on that. Joe Burrow versus all the other divisions is 26-15-1 straight up against any other division other than the AFC North. After a loss, Burrow is 15-6-1 against the spread after a loss, including 10-2-1 against the spread following a loss in the months of September and October. Let's see if I can get you anything else on this quick here. 7.5 is what I got for the Bengals. Washington 2-7 against the spread their last 9, 1-9 straight up in the last 10, 0-5 their last 5 games on a road. Washington 5-15 straight up their last 20 games when played on a Monday. For the Cincinnati Bengals, 13-4 straight up in their last 17 games at home. They are 4-0-1 against the spread their last 5 games in week 3. Cincinnati 4-1-1 against the spread their last 6 games playing on Monday at home. I'm taking the Bengals minus the 7.5, right?
Oh, I really want to join you, but I'm going to let my Bengals hatred come alive still. So I'm going to go with the Commanders. I still think the Bengals are going to win.
All right, fair enough. There it is. All right, you want to do bracket best cover song of all time?
Yeah, I do.
All right, we'll do that. We'll send that out in a little bit. I know we're angry. Okay.
I would just say more disappointed.
Do you feel better? Like, is anger, disappointed, let
father.
down, all that kind of stuff? We got to move. We got to get on now to the Raiders. Today's going to be a massive day. When Kevin Stefanski speaks in about an hour and a half, we got to see what these injuries are at. They might not have anything. He might not tell you anything, but we will find out where we're at with the injuries. At this point, all we have to do is get the offensive line fixed. I believe everything else will take care of itself if you can figure out what to do with the offensive line. A big part of it is coaching. A big part of it is the injuries. They have no choice but to fix the offensive line. Then I could talk about Deshaun Watson. Then I could talk about Amari Cooper. Then I can even talk about this defense at points. I think all this has got to circle back to fixing the offensive line. And I think they'll get a little semblance of what it's going to be with these injuries, and we'll take it from there. Do you feel better?
No.
This one sucks. This one
don't
stinks.
see a fix for the offensive line. Like, unless they get healthy, but like that's not going to happen.
No, I get it. And that's
like realistically, who are you going to go sign?
What are you going to get? Right? What are you going to do? I don't know. But at this point, it's not over. It's going to be a long season, and I'm just going to have a long week. It's going to be a long week, long season. Have a little bit. Just have some faith. I know it's tough, and I'm not telling you to not be angry today and not vent to get it out. Just let's have some faith that they're going to turn this around. At least it's the Raiders. At least it's them. But you got to get back on your P's and Q's here. Long season to go. And that's all the optimism that I got. All right? Thumbs up. Let's get after it. All right, tonight, again, we both like Jacksonville. We'll differ. I'll take Cincinnati. I'll take Washington. Guards back in action tomorrow. And we'll talk to you then. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.